Hundreds of people gathered at Cardiff Castle to play their part in the Big World Sleepout, an event organised by homeless charity Llamau to highlight the sad truth of homelessness in 2019 Britain and beyond.
So there was 52 events happening all at the same time all around the world. There were events in London, Dublin, Belfast, Hong Kong, Barcelona and obviously Cardiff. So it was a global event challenge for people to show solidarity with homeless people and displaced people across the globe. Fundraising event where we asked people to come and sleep out for the night at Cardiff Castle and raise money to support our work locally and also global work supporting homeless people all across the world. So we had Charlotte Church performing with the amazing Para Orchestra. We had Ruth Jones reading a bedtime story. We had the amazing drag queen Dr. Beverly Ballcrusher, one of Cardiff's finest, who did some of her act, which was amazing. Had the Gentle Good, Boy Azuga, Kitty Crawford. So we had a really good lineup. Patrick Jones read some of his poetry. Had some lovely street food from some street food vendors. So we had Dusty Knuckle Pizza, Bamboo Coffee, Keggin half and half, and the Parsnip Ship.
But despite the initial party atmosphere, as the Welsh December weather took its hold, people quickly realised how difficult being homeless can be.
We weren't quite expecting the weather that actually turned up, but we knew that it was going to be a challenge. So people have been given an essential kit list of the things that they needed to bring, like an all-weather sleeping bag, wet weather gear, lots of layers, making sure that they kept warm, etc. But yeah, the reality of actually doing it, I think, is always tougher than people imagine. Normally, we take our sleep out a slightly different approach, and we have some cover for people. But this year, as part of the world's big sleep out, one of the remits was kind of like an under the stars experience, and there was no shelter at all for the most part. We did provide people with shelter once the weather really turned. But yeah, it's a tough experience for people, but I think it gives people a real insight into what it's like if you haven't got somewhere to stay for the night and what it's like facing that reality. I had some friends that were taking part. They went to come home sort of at about 3 a.m. They really struggled to get a taxi, and they said part of the reason they think they struggled to get a taxi was because they looked really dishevelled. They were all soaking wet. They were all a bit bedraggled. They had all their stuff in a big bag, and they said the taxis didn't want to stop for them. And even that, my friend said that gave you a real insight into the kind of prejudice and the stigma that somebody living on the streets can face, that actually no one really wanted to engage with them, even though they had the money to pay for a taxi. They just wanted to get home, but nobody wanted to stop for them. But yeah, she was quite sort of hit by that.
And that's just after one evening of sleeping outside. Llamau also mentioned on their Twitter page that the weather conditions all 400 volunteers faced were a stark reminder of the reality individuals within our society face every single night.